What's up, Nerd Fam? Nerdy Jace here, and I'm back today with another What's in the Box video. As you know, What's in the Box is my version of a pickups video, and I'm not going to go through the whole spiel this time. You know, Kickstarters, local stores, gifts, all that jazz. Today, I wanted to jump right into it, also because you might be hearing some background noise. That's because I'm getting more work done on my house, so I'm going to try and make this somewhat quick or quicker. We'll see. But, as always, go ahead and get you a drink, something to snack on. Get your comments ready. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and jump in. So today I have, of course, I have movies. I also have a collectible and some games today. So starting off, we're going to go ahead with the collectible. And it is the Spider-Man 77 Marvel Legends figure, which is pretty cool looking. I love the font and everything on there. There's that side. Of course, the back of it. So this is based on the CBS TV show and movie that they did. I don't think it came out in theaters. I want to say it was just a CBS TV movie special. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Obviously it's 77, so I wasn't born yet, but I do remember seeing shots of this here and there. It was a short-lived series. It was from and of course camera doesn't want to focus on that part, but it ran from 1977 to 1979, and there wasn't, if I remember correctly, there wasn't really any big Spider-Man villains in the show. I want to say he just fought thugs and stuff, people from the Chinese triad, maybe some Yakuza members, I can't remember. But it was actually pretty popular for CBS. And in typical fashion, the conservative people at the higher ups at CBS and all these other stations, they're like, oh well, yeah, it's bringing in all these ratings, but we don't want to be seen as the superhero studio or TV station, whatever you want to call it, because in addition to the Spider-Man series, they also had Wonder Woman with Linda Carter, also a big ratings boost for them, and the Incredible Hulk. So they had all those three. So oh, we're just going to be the superhero station. We don't want to do that. So despite its popularity and everything, they canceled actually all three of those series, or at least had them finish up or whatever. But they also made a movie out of this. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Speaking of Spider-Man in the 70s, so there's a nice, there we go. Now we're focusing in on there. We need a Marvel Legends series that's based on the Japanese Spider-Man show. That would be fucking cool. And you can have, the build-a-figures to build Leopardon, his mech, or Leopardon. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I think it's supposed to be Leopardon. I don't know. But that would be awesome to have that in, Marvel Legends form. I would get the entire series and probably buy a loose Leopardon to show off too. But came across this and yeah, from another friend, and I want to say I believe it's a Walmart exclusive. So you have to go to, as far as I know. So yeah, you have to go to the dreaded Walmart to pick up this figure, but it's pretty cool, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely, I would love this, and actually an official release of this also, even though I love this too. Anywho, so there's the collectible. Next up, I got some games, and so let's do this first. So I got a Super Game Boy. and this is the Super Famicom version of it. So yeah, so this came out in 1994, and it allows you to play your Game Boy, um, Game Boy games on your Super Nintendo on your big TV. It also do the black label Game Boy Color games. It won't do the translucent ones, but the black ones, because those were made to work for both. So those will actually play on here also. And I believe also if you have an emulator, it'll play through here too. You might have to tweak a few things, but it should. But yeah, I found this at one of the local stores. Again, the Japanese version. And there was also the Super Game Boy 2. That's a nice kind of tealy blue color called Super Game Boy 2. Same thing as this, other than it has a link cable port somewhere, because this was only in Japan, Super Game Boy 2. But the Japanese people or gamers were complaining that there wasn't a link, that they couldn't trade Pokemon. It's all about Pokemon. So people who only had a Super Game Boy couldn't trade with the people that had a Game Boy because there's no cable slot. So the Super Game Boy 2, which came out in 1998 over in Japan, corrected that. But same thing as this. But again, I've been wanting this for a while, because I can play it with my my Super Analog NT, which I showed off and talked about way back when I started the channel. So yeah, dig that video up, check it out, as well as my Sega, my Super Mega NT, or my Mega SG, the Genesis version. So yeah, I've been wanting this for a bit, again, just to get my older collection back up and again play stuff on my TV. So you got Super Game Boy, you need Game Boy games, don't you? So first up, got the 1989 Super Mario Land, if it will. There we go. Well, so this should have been the pack-in title for the Game Boy. It was almost going to be, but in the end, they went with Tetris because that was gaining huge popularity, and then the heads at Nintendo were like, yeah, let's run with that. And again, the Game Boy sold like gangbusters because it was portable gaming. Tetris is awesome, whatever. So this is one of the launch titles, and it basically it kind of went with the same formula as Super Mario Brothers, the side-scrolling platformer. Very basic as far as like the gameplay and everything, and the way the visuals look on screen. Pretty much Mario's fighting aliens or something like that. The background or the landscape and stuff is very like Egyptian. You see, if it will freaking focus, you got like the Easter Island looking statues over there. So yeah, he's going, and this is the debut of Princess Daisy. So this one, and I think Mario Land 2, I can't remember on that, but the debut of Princess Daisy. And what was cool about this also, in addition to the normal platforming and everything, couple of the levels you're basically are shoot 'em ups, side-scrolling shoot 'em ups, not the top down, whatever, kind of like Gradius and like Life Force. So that was cool. That was a cool little gameplay switch up, whatever. Some fans didn't like it. I loved it. I thought it was really cool because one part you're in a biplane shooting blocks and enemies and stuff. Another one I want to say you're in a submarine. I could be wrong in that because it's been a very long time since I played this. But I thought that was cool, having a little differentiating the levels, where it's just not the same thing over time. Couple of the enemies are different. Well, obviously there's different enemies, but like the Koopas in here, when you stomp on them, instead of the shell coming off or whatever, they're basically a bomb. So you have like a couple seconds to get away before it explodes and kills you, or takes your big man or whatever. You do have it's not a fireball. I think it's a fire bomb, and it's weird because it shoots at angles. So you can only shoot, I think, one at a time. So you shoot it and it goes at a right angle and bounces up weird, and then it can still ricochet or whatever. But yeah, not bad for one of the debut games of the Game Boy. So yeah, that was 89. And then the follow-up, Super Mario Land 2, the golden coins, come on. Or 6 golden coins. There we go. Thank you. So this came out in 92, I believe it was. Super popular game. So like crazy. Fun gameplay also. And this, if you didn't know, was the debut of Mario's nemesis, Wario. Well, I guess after Bowser, it'd be Wario. And this goes back to the more traditional, like Mario 3 kind of gameplay. You got a couple power-ups. You do have the fireball again, except this time, because of the limitations of the coloring on the Game Boy, that like baby poop green and yellow or whatever. So you couldn't tell the different colors. So they put a feather, like a bandana or whatever, just a feather. So that's your firepower. And then you can also get a carrot and you get bunny ears. So you can kind of get a little extra jump, and then you can kind of float down, similar to the raccoon tail in Mario 3. But this also has like the overworld, similar to Mario, well, more so Mario World than Mario 3, but that same thing. You can go to different areas or whatever, and you're trying to get the 6 golden coins so you can go back into your castle that Wario took over, and he brainwashed everybody, and your little private island that Mario has or whatever. But awesome game, great platformer. It's been put on the virtual console, things like that. But yeah, very fun game to play. And then lastly, I have potentially controversial pick. We'll see. But it's the 1991 Terminator 2. And yes, you do see that right. That's LJN. That it gets more crap than well, it does deserve a lot of the crap that it gets, but not as much. So as a whole, like the Terminator 2 games were kind of so. I love this game. I got this as a gift when I was, when I was younger. And it was fun. Like the first level was hard only because you start off with a puzzle. So you start off in the future. You're John Connor, and you're trying to make it into Skynet, so you can get the T-800 to reprogram them to send them back or whatever. And the first stage is hard because, again, it's a puzzle. You have to, there's these little towers that you have to shoot down in a certain order, or you can't pass. You have to start over again. But I mean, other than that, the visuals are really good for the Game Boy, especially in 1991. The soundtrack's great, in my opinion. Nice little rockin' intro to it. The cutscenes look pretty well, especially for, again, the digitized Game Boy pixels and stuff. Sarah Connor looks like Sarah Connor or whatever. But yeah, there's like 6 stages, so again, it's Game Boy, it's supposed to be portable, it's shorter, and you do all kinds of variety stuff. So again, it's the run and gun with that, but also the puzzle element, picking the right towers. And then you have another little puzzle game because I think it's stage 2 when you're in Skynet or Cyberdyne or wherever, and you got that. You had to reprogram the T-800, so getting the little circuitry in the right spot. So again, puzzle game, and then you go back to the action stuff. You know, at that point, you're Arnold. You're you're on a motorcycle at one point, keeping the semi from squishing you. You know, you have to fight through Cyberdyne itself, just like the movie. You get the chip and the arm, and then the last stage, of course, is fighting the T-1000. So again, solid pick in my opinion. I'm biased because I played the shit out of it when I got as a gift, but I had a hell of a lot of fun growing up with that. So yeah, so there we go. So there's my games for this video. Again, can't wait to get some more stuff for this. I might try to see if I can get an EverDrive for this. I don't know, we'll see. But you know, again, very cool. And again, got this from a local store in Noonan. And for decent prices too. That's the big thing. Decently priced. All right, lastly, I got a haul from Vinegar Syndrome. I love their that store or that shop, online shop. Sadly, there's not a brick and mortar location anywhere near me, but yeah, they had a what was it called, pre Black Friday sale or going into Black Friday, whatever. So yeah, I got a stack here, and we're gonna go through them. So I don't know a whole lot about some of these. Again, I've seen things on other little compilation videos or whatever, but they seem interesting, and again, good price, so I jumped on it. The first one is a double feature, and this is from Golden Harvest. Excuse me. So for those of you that don't know, Golden Harvest is a Hong Kong film studio, mostly popular for, of course, martial arts movies and like action films. So the Bruce Lee movies, Jackie Chan movies, like, you know, Police Story and stuff, Meals on Wheels or Wheels on Meals, like Sammo Hung, bunch of his stuff. But in the 80s, they started venturing into horror. And, you know, again, Hong Kong they go to freaking ludicrous speed on some of their stuff. So this double feature is Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance. And again, classic Vinegar Syndrome. Got these awesome slip covers and new art. And luckily, all but one of these, I managed to get the slip covers for, so that's cool. But yeah, these were so yeah, there's and again, the insert is interchangeable, so I have it on the Devil Fetus side. If you flip it over, it's going to be the Her Vengeance side. So again, they go balls to the wall with their stuff. So, and with the exploitation and all that. So these were rated as category 3 over in Hong Kong. So that means that'd be the equivalent of like a very hard R into the X or adults only, whatever. Kind of like Showgirls or whatever, that kind of thing. Deep Throat. Well, Deep Throat was more than that. Deep Throat was mainstream when it came out, though. Yeah. So that means, you know, bunch of gore effects, you know, nudity, plot devices or whatever. Especially on Her Vengeance. Her Vengeance is basically I spit on your grave, you know, Hong Kong style. So yeah, this is the first time that this has been released in 2K, up to 2K from the original negatives, I believe it is. Let me double check. And it told me somewhere over here, but anywho, and in the original uncut or the category 3, because when it was released after that, it was down to category 2. So stuff was cut out, but again, it's full glory. So Devil's Fetus, I saw parts of that on my In Search of Darkness videos, so that's why I recognize that. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's check that out, because again, just trying to get my horror collection where it's not just the typical stuff. That's why I've been adding a bunch of the giallo films also. But her Devil Fetus, so this young woman, obviously right there, she purchases an interesting looking antique. It's in the shape of and apparently it's possessed by a demon entity or demonic spirit or whatever, and that spirit, kind of hones in on her, start having, extramarital relations. Husband finds out, or comes in, witnesses it, breaks the vase, and that actually triggers their death in a horrific fashion. And a local priest who kind of, I guess, knew about this, whatever, he seals the room because he thinks that obviously the woman was impregnated. Fast forward to somebody else coming in, getting to the house. They break the seal, and then the demon comes out, and more things ensue. And then her vengeance is basically the rape revenge exploitation. So a young woman is working at like a nightclub or whatever. She accidentally gets into an altercation with a bunch of drunken thugs who were actually with one of the local gangs there, and they assault her. And that's when she comes across an ex-triad member, and she's trying to get him to like train her and stuff to get her revenge. He's reluctant, and she ends up just doing her own thing and taking out her assaulters. So definitely curious to actually pop these in and watch them, because again, I just seen snippets, especially Devil Fetus, on that compilation on In Search of Darkness. I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. And hold that thought. Sorry, got something in the oven. I'll check on it again here soon. But yeah, very interested to see these and get the what the fuck factor. All right, next one is giallo film from Lucio Fulci, Murder Rock. So again, I found out, and I have to cover this up because the slip cover looks good, but it has some stuff on. So again, found out about this through In Search of Darkness, and thanks to Greta, who starred her. She's an actress in here. She's not the star, but she was also in Demons and other stuff, and just talking about dubbing her own voice and things like that. But yeah, this is from Lucio Fulci. Again, he's classic giallo filmmaker. Did Zombie, and collaborated with Argento and Bava and all them. But again, awesome slip cover. Looks great. Or hard case. Slip cover over here too. And this actually comes with a little book talking about it also. And yeah, that's the original name of it, Murder Rock, Dancing Death. Yeah, talks about that. But in Murder Rock, it's kind of similar to Suspiria. So you got this woman who operates one of the best dance academies in New York. Like a new group of students comes in, and then all of a sudden all these murders start happening. So yeah, do a little quick flash. And she enlists the help of one of the newer male dancers to trying to help her figure out, you know, who's doing the killing. Is it somebody on the outside trying to hurt the studio, or is it one of the new students? We don't know. So yeah, Murder Rock. Looking forward to again watching this too. Has a pretty good soundtrack and, you know, dance numbers and things like that. So yeah, we'll see. All right, take two. All right, all right. Now we're back in for the home stretch. All right, next up is The Nesting. Again, I love Vinegar Syndrome's little commissioned art and stuff that they do. These slipcovers are awesome. Then he has side of it. So yeah, Nesting, it came out in 1981. So again, that looks cool. Again, it has a little booklet talking about the movie, and has yeah, it was also called The Mansion, or is it Murder Mansion? Yeah, was it originally filmed as Phobia and then re-released as Massacre Mansion. So in this, and a writer name's Lauren. So she just got through writing her last book. She needs to go off, get some inspiration, and, you know, get in the right mind frame, right, to start on her next book. So she goes to a place on the outside of the city to get in that right frame of mind. Comes to the town of Dover Falls, and as she's looking for a place to stay, she sees this mansion that looks very similar to the cover of her last book. So, you know, she's drawn to it. She you know, rents the place out or whatever, starts getting her writing juices, mojo going. And as she's staying there, she starts, you know, getting hallucinations, and then, you know, feeling like presences and things like that. And, you know, then people around her start dying in, you know, gruesome ways or whatever. And it's, you know, she just out of her mind, or is the house doing something itself or whatever? That's what you have to find out. So yeah, it's kind of a supernatural haunted house film. But again, sounding interesting, and again, you know, 80s gore and stuff like that. So yeah. And again, just the art on these covers looks so good. Oh yeah, it was it was photographed, so I guess a cinematographer or whatever, by I don't know how you say his name, Wow Fernandez. So he did stuff on Children of the Corn and Friday the 13th Part 4, my favorite one, amongst other things or whatever. But yeah, sounded cool, and again, just a different thing, not just your straight up slasher. You know, got that supernatural stuff. So, you know, again, that branching 80s horror. Next to last, we have one of my favorite, I guess it would be horror, action, comedy. I'm not sure. Um, Tucker. Well, that's not zombie. As far as horror comedies, this is right up under Tucker and Dale versus Evil to me, and that is the 1988 classic. Yes, I'm saying classic. Dead Heat, starring Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo. And again, these ones are 4K releases as well, so that's cool. Sadly, I didn't get the I wasn't able to get the slipcover on this one. I think I do have a way I can get it. But yeah, this also stars Vincent Price in one of his last film roles. So he did this, and I think Edward Scissorhands was right after, a few years later after that. I think these were his last two roles. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was it. But yeah, Treat Williams' character. So this is a buddy cop film. They're detectives. Joe Piscopo's Doug Bigelow, and then Treat Williams is Roger Mortis. Rigor Mortis. But there's been a string of robberies and break-ins and things like that. They're on the scene to stop it, and during one of the crimes, like the perpetrators get like wasted, between bullets flying, and then I think like one of them gets like ran over and stuff, and just kind of keep going. They go to the morgue, and they come to find out during the autopsies that they were already dead. So they were zombies, and they were still functioning normal or whatever, doing all these crimes. There's also some of the little compound found in the body, and that takes them to Vincent Price and this corporation that is basically on the outside, it's trying to help people, whatever, but it's turning people into super zombies and committing crime and all that. Roger actually dies and gets transformed into a zombie, and then basically he has a time limit, and they go and try to take the corporation down. Again, it's dumb, campy, fun. I saw this all the time on TNT and TBS when it would pop up. And yeah, again, I love this movie. And this is, the turn in the time when Joe Piscopo was trying to be a little bit more serious actor. I mean, not like Shakespearean or whatever, but he was a comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live and all that stuff. So he's kind of doing the borderline between serious and comedy. And he pumped up whatever, and goes on to do other stuff, sidekicks, whatever. Treat Williams, huge career also, and of course the legendary Vincent Price. But again, just a dumb popcorn movie that is entertaining as fuck. Great visuals and everything. Vincent Price, of course, steal scenes, all that. So yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't. And lastly, we're going to end with some more, late 80s into the 90s camp, and that is Vice Academy 1 through 6. So again, great slip covers, and cool thing about this is it's like they made it to where it's like the VHS, so you pull it out that way. So yeah, so this is the first time that all 6 of the movies have been available outside of VHS, because this is a big like straight to video craze that also happened in the 80s when everybody started getting VHS or VCRs and stuff. So cheap to make, popular with the video stores, and basically this is a campier, I guess sexier spoof of Police Academy, which again, Police Academy is a spoof of all the other cop stuff. So yeah, it stars Gina Lynn, Linnea Quigley, who I love Linnea. Also Elizabeth Catan. So yeah, and then also it came with a poster that's a double-sided poster that's you know, front side or the back side, whichever. But yeah, we got all 6 of the films on here, and then we got a bonus disc of interviews and other things like that. But yeah, Ginger Lynn, of course, you know, she's porn star that turned into, you know, I'll say a serious actress. She was in all but one of these. Linnea Quigley was only in the first 2. Elizabeth Catan, she started in part 3 and then did the rest of the series. So again, you should know her from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. She was also in Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Of course, Ginger and Linnea, their careers are, you know, legendary, so all that. But again, it's cool. Just again, this would run on, you know, late night cable and, you know, edited versions, obviously. And again, they just were constant rentals, money makers for the video stores. Again, it's just stupid fun. So again, that's pretty cool. Again, I love Vinegar Syndrome. I love how they you know, taking all these cult classics and things like that, or, you know, not even necessarily classic, just older films, re-releasing them to keep the preservation and everything, and then putting in the work to make them look as best and sound as best as they can in the current, you know, formats and all that stuff. And again, with the art, the box art, all that stuff. Love Vinegar Syndrome. Check them out if you haven't, or, you know, if you're a movie lover and you haven't, definitely check them out. They got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of releases, you know, everything from action to horror to, you know, again, goofy comedy or whatever. But that's going to end this What's in the Box. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, share. Again, leave some comments if you any comments on any of these Game Boy stuff, whatever. Throw it down in the comments. We can have a conversation. And yeah, until next time, Nerd Fam, Nerd Jace out.